Hey, friend! Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners, and this is the Erin Chase Show, where we chat all things intentional living and how to seek and strike that ever elusive balance in our busy and over lives. And I'm your host, Erin Chase, and this month we've been talking all about kids. And I chose this theme because it's summer and we have, a little bit of extra wiggle room, although I feel like this month has been really busy compared to even last month, the school year, which is a little bit wild. But today we're going to talk about Mount WASHMORE, which is what I call the laundry pile. And we're going to chat about getting the kids involved and how to teach the kids how to help with the laundry. There's quite a bit to unpack here, so I'm going to move pretty quickly with this one because there's some really important things that I'm excited to share with you. 3 weeks ago, it was kids and how to cook. That was the Erin Chase show from 3 weeks ago. Last week, we just talked about kids and chores in general and just sort of my delegation strategy and how important it is to teach well and set proper expectations, which obviously applies to the laundry as well. I'm going to try not to repeat myself too much on that. So if you want to go back and listen to that, we try to keep our shows here to about 15-20 minutes. If you cannot join us live, or if you don't join us live, you can always catch the replay here on the Facebook page. We also upload the replay video to our YouTube channel, and we have an audio version that hits all of the podcast players on Fridays. So you can listen. I am a huge fan of podcasts, which is why we do the audio version. You can listen while you fold laundry today. Get inspired. So today's going to be super practical. We're going to kind of break it all down, laundry. Now, laundry is going to evolve. Let me just start with that. I used to do, 2 or 3 loads a week, and then it became 1 a day, and now it's like 2 a day, and sometimes it's more when we mix in the sheets and the towels. So it's a lot. And that's why it's really important that it's a team effort. And that's why I want to share with you about teaching the kids how to do laundry, because it really, really is. It really is. Now, first, I want you to think why laundry is hard. And it's kind of like dinner and food. Like, we have to eat every day. We have to keep our clothes clean. And so it's just kind of one of those tasks that just has to happen, like the dishes too. It just has to happen all the time to keep, life moving. It's just a part of our day to day. And I think when we can wrap our heads around it and think about laundry that way, it's like, this is just something that has to be done, and we're going to make a team effort out of it. It just makes it a little bit easier to do and keep track of. And I want you to think about the overarching movement of clothing in your home. Okay. It goes from dirty pile somewhere, under beds, behind beds, in an actual hamper, in a basket, like wherever it ends up, right? It goes from dirty pile through the wash, through the dry, through the fold to put away. And literally that is a cycle. And that's the cycle in my house. It's probably the cycle in your house. And my guess is at one point in that cycle, you're breaking down. It's either you're not washing fast enough, or you forget to transfer from the washer to the dryer, or if you're like me, which I think the stats show that you're probably like me, that you just leave the washed clean laundry in a ginormous pile or folded and not put away. That's my breakdown point. And that's where I started with the kids. So that's an option for you when you're teaching your kids how to help with all the different phases of laundry, is start with your own personal breakdown point. Okay. So the phases of laundry, again, gathering and moving of the dirty clothing, the washing of the clothes, the drying of the clothes, and then the putting of the away of the clothes. So I suggest that when you're teaching your kids how to do laundry, it's not like here, go wash your clothes, and then it all falls apart. No, I say take one phase at a time, really teach them all the nuances, all the things that you think are intuitive, like, adding the soap. Ask me how I know about that. Anyways, so just being really like, this is what this is what we've got to do in each of the phases. And I do have an acronym for one of the phases. So the first is gather. The gathering is actually fairly easy. We make that really fun. The kids like to throw their clothes over, and then they'll kick them. They throw them over from upstairs to downstairs. We have a little, I guess, tall foyer. And then they kick them. Like they've got that figured out. We move our dirty clothes every day because I live with 4 boys plus my husband plus 2 puppies. And the clothing is one of those things that I just don't want those kind of sweaty scents lingering in the house. And so we move, I want to say move, I'm just saying move our clothes every day. And then the wash is going. So that's part 1 is moving. Now, the actual wash part, here's my acronym for you. So the first phase is moving. Like, how often are you using baskets, hampers? We just throw clothes over because we're moving them so often. There are some baskets upstairs, but we move the clothes so every day. So there's nothing like sitting in gross dirty piles, unless there's something under beds. Again, the things you don't think to tell your kids to do, but have them check for what clothes might be under their bed or behind their bed. Okay, now here's my acronym for teaching your kids with washing clothes, and it's STEMS, STEMS. It's an acronym, and it goes like this. First we sort, then we treat, then we empty pockets. Hello, red crayon. Then we measure, and then we set the machine, okay? So when you're teaching your kids how to actually shake my computer. Actually wash the clothes. We need to teach sorting. Whites, lights, darks, delicates, right? We need to teach the treating. If there's any stains, what are you using to treat those stains, right? Treat them if needed. And then the next is empty pockets. Again, red crayon, money. You could make it a game of like, if you're doing the laundry and, one of my jackets or one of my husband's pairs of shorts or something gets mixed in there, hey, empty change in there, that's your treasure, right? That could be a thing. And then measuring. So we've sorted, we've treated, we've emptied pockets, and now we load the machine with, the appropriate color of clothing that we're going to wash, and then we're going to measure. Now, here's my hack for measuring. I know a lot of products, including my favorite, which is Ensueño. I shared with you about that last week. It's up on the blog this week. The caps have markers on them. And we use those markers, but here's a hack for you if you don't use those markers. This is what I've taught the boys. If you've only filled up the wash, like maybe it's a quarter full because it's just a couple of towels, let's say, then do a quarter of the cap. So however full the drum is in your washer, right, then fill the cap to match the full level of the drum. Great hack right there. Now, I know that there are some products that have like pre-measured, then, 1 or 2, or if it's a large one, like you just kind of have to depend. But if you're measuring with the measuring cup, fill the measuring cup the same level that the drum is full of clothing, towels, sheets. Does that make sense? So that's just an easy way. You just it's just, little cup, big drum. Make them match up. So that's my hack there for measuring. And of course, you can use the cap. There's usually a half marker and a full marker, depending on how full the drum is with the items that you're washing. And then lastly is to set. And it's important to teach your kids about your machine in particular, but just in general. Like, here's, the water temperature, the types of cycles that you can run. If you're running a delicate cycle, explain to them that the drum just doesn't move as aggressively. The soap and the water and the detergent in the water is going to clean your clothes, but it's just going to be a little bit of a softer movement of the drum for your delicates. Like, explain all of this to them so that when they move out, they go to college and they're looking at different machines, and buying a machine, they know what the different settings are so that they can actually set the machine properly. Okay, so that is washing. Now, the other things that you could teach with the washing, besides the stems, with the different settings is, types of fabrics, water temperatures. We've already kind of outlined the lights, darks, whites, lights, darks, delicates. Of course, there's like towels and sheets, the sort of heftier, sturdier fabrics, if you will. And so it's important to help them understand. And I've told this all to my older kids. The younger boys aren't quite ready for that, which brings me to my next point in a second. So letting them know and understand how the different water temperatures, plus the detergent interacts with the clothing or the items that you're washing. And then, so that brings me to what's appropriate and how old should kids be helping to do this? Well, I think that really little kiddos could help with, sorting and moving clothes and pushing piles across the floor. Like, make it fun. I told you my boys like kick the clothing, they drop it over and they kick it. It's just silly. Like, just get it to the laundry room, right? Doesn't matter to me how you get it there. Just get it there. So that's the younger kiddos can start with things like sorting. As soon as they have the dexterity to do measuring, they can do measuring of detergent or fabric softener. And then, you can move along into the water temperatures and the different fabric types and clothing types and things like that. So it just kind of depends on their age of how much of these things you're going to teach them and kind of the nuances. But the end goal is that when they leave your home, they leave your nest, they're confident in how to take care of their clothes. Like, ultimately, that's what teaching the kids about laundry is all about. It's less about walking up to the laundry machine in college and being like, what's that? And more about understanding the entire purpose, plus all the different parts and pieces and phases of getting your laundry washed. So that's washing. So drying is going to be the next phase of the process. So the drying, of course, is understanding the different temperatures. Usually most dryers will have a low, medium, and high. I don't know why that word wouldn't come, sorry. The 3 temperature settings, and of course there is an option for tumble only with, no heat. And so making sure that you kind of outline the different options, how your specific machine is set, but then also understanding that there's machines have different settings, and you just kind of the point, the wrinkle options, the wrinkle free or release options that your machine's going to have. So and just outlining all of that and how the machine works. And then of course, drying times, drying temperatures. We always run sheets and towels on the high temperature. Those tend to be sturdier fabrics, so they can handle the high. I've taught the boys, when in doubt, use medium. And then of course, for delicates, use the lower heat. And then of course, if your clothing has any instructions, it's a special type of piece or special something that that you can wash at home that doesn't require dry cleaning, let's say, then making sure that they're following the tag instructions. But for my kiddos, I have taught them the default of medium heat for if you're not sure. Most of our clothing is durable cotton, so we do a lot on high as well, but when in doubt is go with medium. And then of course, do we hang or do we dry? And teaching the kids what types of fabrics, delicate type things, need to be hung to dry. At our house, it's mostly my things that are hung to dry. They don't they don't have as many of those types of clothing just yet. Although as they get older, they'll get some dressier type clothes. There might be some that require either dry cleaning or some sort of special dry care. So making sure that they understand that, I think, is really important as well. And then lastly, using dryer sheets. At our house, we use the Ensueño scent booster drying sheets, and those are designed to, of course, add the fabulous scent in with the clothes in the dryer cycle, as well as just create a little bit of extra protective layer around the clothes as they are tumbling around in the dryer. So helping them understand and making that a part of your regular laundry routine, I think, is really important as well. So we've gathered and moved, we've washed, we've dried. Last is going to be the folding and the putting away. And the folding, I actually had a kiddo. I was watching the Marie Kondo show. This was a while ago, and I think he just happened to see the one part of the episode where she was folding into the small little, how she file folds. And so he just happened to see that. And the next morning I went into his room because I could hear a little, little movement. And he's emptied his drawers and he is trying to fold all on his own. I think it was just like he was curious about how it worked. It was so adorable. And he really was too young to actually fold in that way. And so folding is one of those things that you could have them folding alongside you as they're learning. I think folding is the actual art of folding is they're going to do it alongside of you. Bring them to help you. Even if they're not really all that helpful, they still need to learn. And so having them fold alongside you, and then of course they can put their own clothes away. That's something that can happen from a very young age. And so the folding of all the different types of things might be an older kiddo's job, but they can also be helping you along the way and learning. You'd be amazed at what the kids can learn. And then of course, the thing that we've taught that I've taught the boys with, the folding and the putting away, and the reason I want them to do it is because I want them to have that mental impression of wear their X shirt or Y shorts or favorite hoodie. I want them to know where that goes. And so when they're putting their clothes away, they get that mental impression, or they just know that they've put their clothes away. So if they want to find their hoodie, it's going to be in their drawer, or it's going to be, the swimsuits, they always go into this. We have a separate drawer for swimsuits for everybody. Everybody's swimsuit goes in that drawer. And so when they understand where things are, guess what happens? There's way less. It still happens here and there, but there's way less of, Mom, where's my blank? Whatever article of clothing that they're looking for. And I think that them folding and putting away is helping them to see. And then they also know, like, oh, I don't think I've folded that or put that away recently. Then it must be still in the wash. So it might be still either in the dryer or in the wash, or waiting to be washed. Sometimes we get a little backup in the laundry room, but really we try to run every single day so that doesn't happen. Ultimately, for me, the goal is sending them off into the world knowing how to take care of their clothes. But second to that is like I said, they know where things are. They have their favorites. They know when they wear them. They know when they get washed. It just, when you can go like this, it happens like that. So that's the overview. Trying to keep this tight to 20 minutes. Let's jump into PIE. PIE is my acronym for intentional living. It's plan, implement, evaluate. So I want to plan which of these phases is next. Do you want to do like folding for the next couple of months and really get good at that? Do you want to change up the way that you get your clothing to the laundry room? Do you want to change up the putting away process? Our laundry put away happens after dinner. It's just part of the after dinner chores. Like whatever is there gets put away. And so however you want to work that into whichever phase you want to start with, and making that plan, I think is really important to plan out where you're going to start first. And then implementing is walk them through all the steps, each of the things that needs to happen with that particular phase, whether it's the washing, making sure they understand all the parts and pieces of your machine, the nuances of the different types of clothes they're washing, and things like that. And then, of course, evaluate is checking on their progress and then deciding when it's time to move into the next phase of laundry. Okay, well, we've got the moving of the laundry figured out. Let's go to the end part and the putting away. And then over time, if you've broken down all the kind of 4 phases of the laundry, then it just sort of, everybody's involved. It's a big team effort. And there's less of the, where's my shorts? I can't find my basketball shorts. All right, think slow and steady wins the race to the bottom of Mount Washmore. Okay, so don't try to, actually had this, a friend mentioned this last week, like don't try to like, here, just do your laundry, put the soap in, put the laundry in it. No, like slow down, break it down. You're going to be setting themselves up for success and you for less frustration. If you can break it down and go slow and steady wins the race to the bottom of the laundry pile, well, then there's more laundry. Yes, I know. It never ends at my house. The feelings that we're going for here is just that independence and freedom of not having to do as much laundry. When everybody's involved, it's just less for me to do, less for my husband to do. It's just it's just a big old team effort. So in taking action, like I broke down in PIE, is figuring out which of these phases that you're going to start with and get to work with your family and your kiddos in that particular phase, and just taking your time and getting things kind of all figured out with whichever phase that you're going to start teaching everybody in. All right, that's what I got for you this week. Kids and laundry, getting them involved. It's super important. Ultimately, again, it's about getting them to understand how to take care of their clothing, and then lastly, getting them, equipping them for sending them off into the world. And then again, a little less of where's my XYZ? Can't find it. So that's it. I am going to be off next Tuesday. I'll be back the Tuesday after, I believe it's July 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever that is, the next Tuesday. So that's all I got for you for this week. We'll have a new theme for you in July. I will share that with you soon. But for now, please subscribe. You can get notifications here when we're live on Facebook. We have our Erin Chase show on Tuesdays, our Dinner Made Easy on Thursdays. And then we have one more WizKid Live here on Saturday. All the videos you can find on our YouTube channel or here on our Facebook page. And if you're listening live on Tuesday, love it. Thanks for joining me live. We also will have the replays available on YouTube and the podcast players on Fridays. So be on the lookout for those. And that's all for this episode of Kids and Laundry. How to teach that and how to break it all down, and so they can be successful with laundry, and a little less laundry for you to have to do in your life and in your world. And yeah, that's it for this episode. It's bye for now, and we'll talk again soon.